Every gardener knows the heartbreak of walking across soil that feels dead, hard, cracked, pale, and lifeless. You water it and the surface rejects the moisture. You add compost, but nothing seems to hold. Plants wilt faster than you can blink. I've been there more times than I care to count. And if you're watching Soil Stories, chances are you've faced the same struggle. But here's the part that still amazes me. Some of the most dead land I've ever worked with transformed into healthy, dark, living soil again simply by introducing a powerful, gentle, natural liquid, not synthetic, not expensive, just biologically alive. And today, I want to walk you through exactly how this works, why it works, and how you can turn even the most stubborn piece of land into a thriving green paradise. This isn't magic, it's soil science in action, and it's something every gardener deserves to know. Let's start with a mindset shift. Most soil we call dead isn't actually gone forever. It's simply missing the living components that keep the system running. Nutrients are still there, minerals are still there. What's missing is the life that unlocks them. Microbes, fungi, beneficial bacteria, and organic acids. So, when soil biology disappears, usually from things like overdigging, chemicals, drought, or compaction, the soil just can't break down organic matter or deliver nutrients to plants anymore. That's when you end up with that dry, powdery, crusty texture that gardeners, well, really dread. The good news? Biology can be reintroduced, and that's where liquid soil boosters come in. If you've watched Soil Stories for a while, you already know my love for homemade bio-liquids. Whether it's compost tea, fermented plant juice, rice water enzyme, or even simple microbial brews, these liquids aren't fertilizers in the traditional sense, they're life starters. The moment you pour them onto dead soil, something incredible happens. The soil begins to wake up. These liquids deliver billions of microorganisms straight into the ground. They loosen compacted earth. They break down hard crusts. They ignite nutrient cycling. They attract earthworms. They kickstart root growth. In other words, they reboot the soil. And best of all, you can make these liquids right at home. Let's get practical. What does this simple liquid actually do once it hits the soil? First, the microbes start eating. They break down old organic matter that's been sitting unused for years. As they feed, they release nutrients in the exact form plants need. Second, they create natural glues, yes, real glues, that bind tiny soil particles into crumbly, sponge-like structures. This is what turns lifeless dust into dark, rich earth. Third, the improved structure allows water to sink deeper instead of running off. Slowly, the soil begins to hold moisture again, and moisture is what allows roots to venture deeper. Fourth, because roots can penetrate further, they release sugars and exudates. These feed the microbes, which multiply even more. It becomes a cycle of renewal. Dead land becomes alive again, not because you added chemical fertilizer, but because you restored nature's original system. Let me share a moment that changed how I garden forever. Years ago, I worked on a patch of land so hard that a metal hoe bounced off the surface. The color was pale gray, not brown. Water pooled on top like paint on concrete. Trust me, I thought it was hopeless. So, I decided to test a liquid microbial brew I had made from fermented weeds. I diluted it heavily and, well, poured it over the lifeless ground. Nothing happened the first day, nothing the second day. But, on day 5, the soil felt just a bit softer. After 2 weeks, I could actually push my finger into it. After a month, I saw earthworms for the first time. And, 3 months later, vegetables grew there, as though the soil had never been dead at all. That experience taught me a powerful truth. We don't fix soil by forcing it. We fix it by feeding it life. If you want to revive your own soil, here's the most important rule. Start simple and start with biology. You don't need chemicals. You don't need expensive inputs. You just need a good quality living liquid and patience. Let's break it down step by step so you can begin immediately. First, pick the liquid you're going to use. Compost tea, fermented plant juices and rice water-based brews all work wonderfully. The key is that the liquid contains living microbes or natural plant enzymes. Next, dilute it. Strong solutions can overwhelm soil that's been inactive for years. A gentle watered-down application is more effective in the long run. Then, apply it evenly across your soil. Don't worry if the soil is compacted or dusty. The microbes will begin working the moment they detect moisture and organic compounds. After that, go ahead and add a light mulch layer. This protects the microbes from direct sun and keeps moisture where it's needed. Finally, just remember to repeat the treatment weekly or every other week. Revival is not instant, but it is steady and reliable. Within a few weeks you'll start noticing changes, better moisture retention, a softer texture, a richer smell, and even some small signs of life returning. The soil becomes darker. This is actually a sign of increasing organic carbon and biological activity. The texture loosens. It shifts from hard and crusty to soft and crumbly. Water begins to sink instead of running off. This is a major victory, and it's a sign that soil structure is returning. You may see earthworms, and honestly, that's a great sign. They're attracted by microbial life and decaying organic matter. Small plants or weeds, they tend to sprout faster. This is a clue that the seed bank in your soil is waking up, which is pretty exciting. Your garden, well, it starts to smell different. Healthy soil has a fresh, sweet, forest-like smell. That's really the scent of life. When you see these signs, you know your liquid treatment is working, and you're well on your way to green paradise. One of the reasons I love teaching this method on soil stories is because it's universal. Whether you're gardening in a tiny backyard, a balcony pot, a rural homestead, or a once-abandoned field, soil biology works the same way. Microbes don't care where you live. They don't care what soil type you have. They don't care what you're growing. They simply do what nature designed them to do: restore balance. Even better, this method is affordable. It saves you money on fertilizers, soil conditioners, and chemical treatments. And, it protects the environment by nurturing soil instead of stripping it. When gardeners understand biology, everything changes. Once your soil starts healing, your plants will show you their gratitude. Their colors deepen, their leaves grow stronger, their roots spread wider, they resist pests more naturally, they survive drought better because the soil now holds more water, and honestly they produce more. More fruits, more flowers, more life. There is nothing more rewarding than watching nature respond to care. And honestly, all of it begins with a simple liquid that reawakens the soil beneath your feet. If your land looks dead right now, please don't give up on it. Soil has an incredible ability to regenerate when you give it the life it has lost. Whether you're just starting your gardening journey or you've been tending soil for decades, this method works. You don't need to struggle, and you don't need expensive products. Just start with biology, keep it simple, and stay consistent. Your land will reward you in ways you never imagined. And if you found this guide helpful, make sure you subscribe to Soil Stories, leave a comment, and share this with another gardener who might be facing the same soil challenges. Together, we can turn dead land into living paradise, one simple liquid at a time.